Everyone saw the video. A truck, moving fast, looking real. Journalists shared it, analysts praised it, General Motors used it to justify $2 billion. But there was one problem. A very simple question. Where's the engine? Because there wasn't one. No engine, no fuel system, no working technology of any kind. They towed it to the top of a hill, released the brakes, and let gravity do the work. And then, for 2 years, the people who were supposed to ask that question didn't. Here is what I found when I started digging into Trevor Milton. He did not come from Silicon Valley. He didn't come from engineering or even technology. He grew up in Utah. He dropped out of college after 1 semester. Before Nikola, he had built and sold several small companies. Nothing remarkable, nothing that suggested what was coming. What Trevor Milton had was an extraordinary ability to make people believe things. He was magnetic, energetic, obsessed with the camera. He posted constantly on social media, Twitter, YouTube, podcasts. He didn't just talk about Nikola, he performed it, and the performance was convincing. In 2016, Nikola unveiled the Nikola One, a hydrogen electric semi-truck. Claimed range of over 1,000 miles, 0 emissions, a revolutionary design. The reservations flooded in. Trucking companies placed orders, investors lined up. There was just one problem. The truck did not work. Not partially, not almost. It didn't function at all. In January 2018, Nikola released a video called Nikola One in Motion. It showed the truck cruising down an open highway. No incline visible, no tow rope, no indication of what was really happening. Milton posted it himself on Twitter. He called it proof that the technology was real. But what actually happened, according to federal prosecutors, was this. They drove the truck to the top of a hill in the Utah desert. A hill with a long, gradual slope. They positioned the camera carefully at the precise angle to make the road look flat. A driver got inside, released the brakes, and the truck rolled. It simply rolled downhill on gravity alone. No engine running, no hydrogen burning, no technology of any kind working inside that cab. They edited it, they published it, they called it In Motion. When investigators later confronted Nikola about this, the company's response was extraordinary. They said the truck was in motion. Technically, they argued, the truck was moving. They never claimed it was moving under its own power. Technically, I had to stop. I actually went back and I did read that again because I thought I might have misunderstood it. But this isn't just misleading, it's absolutely insane. This specific argument was used by a company valued at $29 billion to defend itself in a federal investigation. But here's what makes this story different from most fraud cases. Trevor Milton didn't just fool retail investors on social media. He fooled General Motors. In September of 2020, just 2 days after Hindenburg Research published a 67-page report accusing Nikola of being built on, and I'm quoting, an ocean of lies, General Motors announced a $2 billion partnership with Nikola. $2 billion to a company that had never produced a working truck, just 2 days after a detailed fraud report called it all fake. Now, I spent a long time trying to understand this. I mean, how does one of the largest car companies on Earth sign a $2 billion deal with a company accused of fabricating its core technology? Just 2 days after that kind of accusation. Well, the answer, when I found it, was quite uncomfortable. Nobody did the work. Not the banks, not the analysts, not the institutional investors. Nobody looked under the hood, because looking under the hood would have meant admitting that everything they had already praised. Now, here's what federal prosecutors later documented. It was not just a truck video. Milton claimed Nikola was producing its own hydrogen fuel. No hydrogen was being produced. at any cost, at any location. Milton claimed that the company had a working pickup truck called the Badger, built from the ground up using Nikola's own parts and technology. But the Badger did not exist. Milton claimed that reservations for Nikola trucks represented billions in binding revenue. Almost all of them could be canceled at any time. But the detail that disturbed me the most, the one I continue to come back to, is this one. While Milton was publicly inflating the value of Nikola stock, telling investors on Twitter, on podcasts, on television that the technology was real, he was simultaneously using that inflated stock to buy a ranch in Utah. A ranch! He couldn't sell his shares yet. There was a lockup agreement. So instead, he convinced the ranch seller to accept Nikola's stock options in exchange for the property. The stock options, backed by technology he knew didn't exist, used to buy land for himself personally. He used fictional trucks to buy a real ranch. Trevor Milton was convicted in 2022, sentenced to 4 years in federal prison, and then pardoned by Donald Trump in early 2025. He is currently free. He has released a documentary about himself. In it, he says he was the victim.
Zero emissions.
Nobody at that point had a fuel cell truck.
We're targeting the second largest polluting industry in the world, the trucking industry.
But here's what this investigation has taught me. The Nikola story isn't really about Trevor Milton. It's not really even about a truck that rolled downhill. It's about something much more uncomfortable than that. It's about the fact that for 2 years, banks, analysts, journalists, and one of the world's largest companies looked at a company with no working product and decided this is the future. Just because the story was good. Just because the man telling it was convincing. Just because admitting you were wrong is harder than pretending the truck is moving. Trevor Milton did not fool the smartest people in finance. The smartest people in finance chose to be fooled. But how many other Nikolas are out there right now? How many trucks are rolling downhill while someone somewhere calls it innovation? Drop your answer down in the comments below. I read every single one. And if you want to keep following cases just like this, you know where to find us.